I really should clear my throat before I start this. Hi, this this I use an app to stream, and it's like on my phone. It uses the phone and the iPad, and my attention span is so short these days. If you exit the app, it like shuts down the stream or the connection or whatever. And I invite Lee, and then I'm like, oh wait, let me check Twitter, and I close the app and like open Twitter, and then it closes everything, and so that means the invite that I sent Lee is then invalid. So, but what's funny is I didn't do it just once. I literally closed the app 3 times, probably in about 15 minutes when I set it up. I'm like, oh yeah, I gotta check this, and then I would just close it by accident. One of those days. Yo, Toffee Troll and Blast from the Past. Thanks for making it. Lee should be here shortly if I didn't completely botch the invites. There we go. All right. Oh, he is here. I didn't botch it that bad. All right, how do we do this? And 1 and 2. Bam! There he is with a Space Nerd shirt. I don't think I've seen that before.
Yes. Stories of my demise have been greatly exaggerated.
Dude, I don't know. Maybe I'm getting senile. I was telling him I closed this app 3 times, like in 15 minutes. I'm like, oh, let me send Lee an invite. And then I'm like, oh, I gotta check Twitter real quick because whatever. And I would just close it. And I'm like, why am I doing this? I know better. I did it literally 3 times. So
What the hell's going on?
I don't know, man. I don't know. Luke, thanks for making it. This is from Blast from the Past. I actually have Blast from the Past's mini up here. I had to do a few things. Oh, it's even good that he's here. So then if he has any last requests on this, it's the perfect time, dude.
Everything is working. Everything. There is no problems
Yeah.
with this podcast. This is streamlined perfection.
Yeah. After it was like a year and a half. I don't even know how long we've been doing this, man.
It was a Wednesday.
It was a Wednesday, much like any other day.
There was sun. There was breeze. A light breeze tittered across the outskirts of my dormitory as I sat there smoking my pipe.
And did you ever smoke a pipe?
Yeah, man, a strange man.
I feel like I need to load one up and like smoke a pipe somewhere just cause to be distinguished, dude. I mean, I feel like should I come to the UK and I'll be like, well, do they have like a pipe smoking thing? Do they have they have cigar rooms? Can you smoke a pipe in a cigar room?
I don't have one personally. I've heard tales of pipe smokers.
It seems like a very Adeptus Mechanicus thing to do, dude. For Adeptus Titanicus, dude, play some of that, smoke a pipe. By golly.
Well, it's the sacred incense and the unguents
Yeah.
we will use in stuff.
It seems like part of the course.
Yeah, indeed. As this is looking rather dapper. You know, just like a little diorama, and
he did. Blast from the Past set this one up, and it was just awesome. So he set up the shot, and I'm like, all right. And then he wanted a commission on it, and I sat on it kind of a long time because I was like, oh, I had like the idea, and he wanted the like the old school like 50s, like the black and white movies. He kind of referenced that, how they would have these kind of like mysterious monster type thing, and I really dug that because it's kind of like pulpish, you know what I mean, the old school. And so working on this to try to it was such a cool angle, the composition. It's like, he's really on point with that stuff, so it was a lot of fun. This one I thought was really cool, like good story. It was interesting trying to get the trees in here to mesh with the trees I brought in for the background and everything. And I just thought it was a cool it's something different too, because a lot of times it's all 40K stuff.
Yeah, I was a because was it Toffee Troll? Hi, how are you, buddy? Long time no speak. He was just mentioning about the pipe is for a gentleman. Look at the battle report on Warhammer Plus today. There was a general riding a sensible smoking a pipe.
See, that's
That
hilarious. That is
that
so
is
funny, dude.
you are allowed to do that, I believe.
Yeah, so then there. Thank you, Toffee. That way we know
See,
it's a culture fit. We can
yeah,
smoke a pipe
I
and
haven't been onto Warhammer Plus yet since I found out that I'd resubscribed without realizing.
oh.
So yeah, I've resubbed for another year apparently. So yeah, free
Yeah.
model and a £10 voucher in October to come, and whatever else is
Yeah,
released.
at least that and I haven't signed up for it yet. Actually, I'll probably wait a while, and then I probably will for a while just to go watch a bunch of
You
the
wait a
stuff.
while from last year.
Yeah, and I was like, well, I'm not gonna. I would do it for the mini, but I'm like, dude, I'm not gonna be like painting forever. So I'm like, all right, we'll wait. This is so funny. It's like with his photo removed, and then
I brought my dinner with me.
what do you got?
Yeah. Well, like last time,
Beer.
fish fingers. Well,
Uh,
here's it down the side. I've got a little Halloween bucket with some ice in, and the beers are in there.
oh, look at you! You got a couple beers in a bucket with you, dude. You're ready for that? You ready for your show after this too? We're gonna get you lit up for your show, dude. Look at this, dude.
Yeah.
How cool!
Collar butts,
I
some
need to,
ice.
I need to drink more.
I've got a two-tier
I don't drink
fish finger
nearly enough.
sandwich.
Yeah.
Gone for the double tier because basically there was 5 fish fingers left. I thought, I'm not that hungry that I can justify having 2 sandwiches. Let's go for 3 brothers bread, and just cram them in there with a little bit of tomato sauce, just for
Yeah.
a little bit of taste.
Hmm.
That's how we do it here.
That's right.
Seat of our
And
pants
it's not
anytime.
scorching hot there right now, is it?
No,
All right. Good.
this is bearable. This is
Bearable
actually quite
hot.
pleasant.
Yeah, it's almost fall.
We don't mind global warming as long as it stops around about 20 degrees.
What do I got to do here? Keep saturation brightness.
Congrats, you got another mini. Yes, indeed. Luke, my weapons for Warlord number 2 arrived today. Awesome.
Ooh, what weapons?
Pretty Quake Cannon, isn't it?
The Quake Cannon, it makes it hard for the other Titans to walk or something, right? When you fire, or I forget how it works.
Hmm. The Quake, in particular, is one of my favourite weapons in Titanicus.
And I thought I remember you saying that before. So why is that basically?
It's not as strong as a volcano cannon, but you don't overheat from firing it.
Okay.
And if the shields are down on the target that you hit, you get to make it dance. There's nothing better than seeing a target dancing. You know, he might turn left, he might turn right, he might move backwards. If there's anything around him, he's walking into it. That's going to hurt. Yeah.
That's.
Yeah. Luke's doing a bit of kit bashing as well because he wants to. Because they haven't produced them yet for the Warlords, we have the shoulder-mounted weapons. He's bought himself some shoulder-mounted weapons, being the las blasters, and he's not going to put the las blaster elements on there. And he's going to convert 2 Reaver Gatling blasters, which are like the well, they look a little bit.
This
like,
one's his, right? This is Luke's, ain't it?
No, that's if it's not mine, which it isn't, because it looks very similar to mine, but that's Walrus Taco.
Oh, that's right. Okay.
Luke doesn't do the beautiful Solaria, so he's going to convert by taking this part off and sticking it onto the las blaster.
Oh wow, that thing is huge, dude. Wait, hold that back up. How like? That's massive. I don't know the size of your hand. That thing is crazy.
Instead of just sticking it upside down, like that on the Warlord,
yeah.
used the parts of the Warlord mount
Oh
and
my God, that thing is huge, dude.
so that part onto it. So he's got a Gatling blasters
Yeah.
on the roof of one of his Warlord Titans for his Volturum.
Sawed off Gatling
Yeah,
craziness.
basically, yeah. So they're very, very nasty up close and personal because there's a lot of shots coming into you.
Yeah.
It's good for stripping shields, and with Luke, he has this desire to run Warlord Titans across the battlefield with twin fists, so he can basically murderize things in close combat. It's his dream.
Okay, wait. I don't know if who didn't watch. Lee, did you watch the new Game of Thrones whatever thing?
I did.
Okay. Are we allowed to talk about this? Crew in here, are we allowed to talk about the first two episodes, or is that too spoilery? I don't know. I don't know how we all feel about that because I'm sure it's a popular show.
It's getting quite good responses from a few of my people that I would be sort of dependent
Mm-hmm.
on their opinions.
I was skeptical at first, and I think my only skeptic was my first look at it was like, oh, they just told the story of like Daenerys, and then they're basically, and I mean, I get it, and it was like, oh, is the same? Is it almost gonna be like the kind of like the same thing? You know, it's like, hey, are they just gonna have this, you know, female character come through and whatever, and it's kind of like almost mimic it or whatever, and try like they just try to like ride the past success and they do it too close. But then I started watching it and I actually was really digging it. I was like, okay, this is cool. I just like I dug the feel of it. I thought her character was awesome. I was like, all right, that one, it like
Right.
whatever, it just came together enough for me in the story, and I was like, all right, this is pretty cool. So I was pleasantly surprised. The one kind of spoiler thing I just had to ask you if you saw it in the second one, so close your ears if you don't want any spoilers. The uh, there's a point where her dad, the king, says, "Oh yeah, I remember. I forget how much alike you and your uncle are." And she gives him this look, and I was almost like, oh, is it a thing where literally the uncle is her father? Like, because they did that thing, and I was like, oh, wait, was there something in that where it's like, oh, because there was a whole look of that, and she in that little scene, and I was like, wait a second. So I don't know if I read too much into it, but it had that
Uh,
little bit of inclination towards it.
from the books of A World of Ice and Fire and Fire and Blood, which is when George R. R. Martin wrote, like, it was basically his version of the Silmarillion, where
Yeah.
he details the entirety of existence in Westeros up to the point of the events of Game of Thrones.
Okay.
And from that, like with the Horus Heresy, from a small part of this epic telling of the histories, they focus on the Dance of the Dragons, which is what the House of the Dragon is about, which
Okay.
is the Targaryen civil war that happens a few, like 100 years after Aegon, the Conqueror, had conquered Westeros. So I don't recall there being like that sort of shenanigans. I think she is
Okay.
actually the series' daughter.
Gotcha. Okay.
But there is the closeness, and also with, you got to remember, with Targaryens, the whole marriage between siblings,
Oh, okay.
cousins, that happens. So her father, Viserys, the king, his father Jaehaerys was married to his sister. So
Oh, okay.
um, there's that whole thing.
They get a
But
little
again,
weird. They get a little weird in there.
we got to bear in mind that their culture, that is accepted between their
Yeah.
purebreds, like royalty sort of thing, to an extent. Like our royalty or modern day royalty wouldn't do brother and sister. Cousins, yes, but not brother and
Hmm.
sister. Whereas the Targaryens were, from their culture, that was to keep the lines pure. And I suppose in some respects it's similar to how like the Mayans and the Incas were, because there was that sort of intermarriage going with that sort of thing. So it's happened before. Modern life, we don't accept it, but this is a fantasy setting where but Damon has a close relationship with Rhaenyra. So, again, it's like favourite uncle, favourite niece.
That's what it's
takes after him in some respects, like that wanting to be a warrior and stuff like that.
Yeah, and get after things. I did notice too, they said, and I just happened, I don't know, I was on Instagram or whatever, I'm posting, I don't even like search most stuff. And I didn't even search it, it just happened to pop up. And it was a little scene of, so it was a scene from the original Game of Thrones, and it was Joffrey saying, and obviously the show could change it or whatever, but it could just be like part of lore that he knows, he doesn't know the real truth. But he had said that she got killed by her brother's dragon and eaten alive in front of her kids. That was how Joffrey explained what happened to her. I forget where he was like, he said the rest of her bones was buried in this crypt or whatever. But I happened to just see that, and I was like, oh, I would have never have known that. So supposedly that's like what, historically was said happened to her. I didn't know that either.
A lot of shit goes down.
Yeah.
But it doesn't, in the timeline we're at the moment, it's not going to happen for a few years.
Yeah.
The Dance of the Dragons, because it's someone we're not
up to it
to is the main cause of the dance.
Okay. Oh, interesting. See? That's why I like these streams. I get to catch up on all kinds of stuff.
But yeah, there was a lot of dragons involved. So all the existing dragons, plus some newborn ones that occur.
And so one thing I caught is that there is one super old school dragon still around in that old series, because they were like, he's talking, they were like, oh, what happened to the one? And he said it was dead. But then the one girl or whatever was asking questions, what happened to this dragon that flew off and whatever? And they said, oh, he nests over there, or she nests over there, and whatever. So, and that's like one of the old dragons or something, as far as I understand.
It was Queen Visinia's. So basically, Aegon had his two sister wives.
Okay.
So you had Visinia, who was the older of his two wives, and she was a warrior. So like an area, because that was in the first episode where they're saying about, oh, we've already got our own Visinia, Rhaenyra. So that was her dragon, is the one that is nesting on the east coast somewhere or something. There on the Black Dread was that skull that you see in the latest episode.
Oh, okay.
So he was the oldest dragon, and obviously was that from Valeria before it blew up.
Okay.
And then his other series, Rhaenyra's, in the history, she died fighting in Dawn. So because there was the one thing that he never done was actually conquer Dawn.
Yeah, that's going to be freaking interesting. But off to, in my opinion, for like the entertainment I look for, off to like a strong start. I was just like, all right, cool. Like the actors or whatever, I was all digging for the most part and everything. So I was like, all right, cool. It seems to fit. I don't set up like huge expectations for everything. And by the way, bye Toffee Troll. Thank you for stopping in. I appreciate it. His friend.
Check out his.
Yeah, I'm going to check it out in Discord later too. I'll have to see it.
He probably orcified it because he loves doing that.
Orcified it.
That's what he was mentioning earlier on about his Titan project.
They need a like the
It's
warlord.
orkiness,
We
stuff.
have the warhound. Like we have this. I want an equivalent, but an orky version. I want an orky. Like what is a gargant? There. One thing I did not like. They called the mega gargants were from back in the day from what Epic or whatever, and then they made those Age of Sigmar giants mega gargants. And the only thing I noticed the difference they did is one had a hyphen and one didn't. I think the orc versions had the hyphen because I'm like, how did you name it like the same exact product, dude? I was like, and everyone knows it now as the giants, but I always remember like mega gargant. I'm like, isn't that the huge whatever? And so that's my a pet peeve. They named it the same, but with a
Hmm.
hype without a hyphen.
Well, that's the thing is where they mix up the names between the systems. So you'd say like I should have just kept them as giants. You know, they are giants.
Yeah.
Why call them gardens? Giants was a cool
Well,
name.
what they probably couldn't
But
secure the name or whatever. You know what I mean?
yeah, again, if they're trying to make it their own thing,
Yeah, because like what they did with Space Marines to a starter. So,
yeah. So
gotta
do all
gotta
that
claim
jazz
that name.
with Age of Sigmar. So
Yeah.
yeah, you've got to claim it. So you can't use it.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's
What are you working on tonight on your stream?
I have no idea. it's it's a sort of in a well, I don't know how to describe it because today is the day my friend Chris Booth passed away several years ago,
No.
and there's sort of a little sort of tribute. Yeah, well,
Mm-hmm.
I'll be talking about that and stuff because obviously he was such a great hobbyist in the community and all that sort of thing. And hopefully, I will manage to get something done. Um, I haven't been painting a lot recently, so most of my streams recently have been just building stuff
Yeah.
uh, because I just haven't had the time to get
Mm-hmm.
paint onto models like basing and priming stuff.
Yeah.
So it's been a little bit
A wee bit of a
um,
challenge.
in hobby content in some respect. You know, there's bits, but the only things I've painted in the last couple of weeks have been two sword hilts, and that's it.
Oh, really?
We always paint sword hilts.
Couple of the old sword hilts. Oh wait, I don't need that. Cleaning up this bad boy.
Clean it up. It deserves to be
Dun
clean.
dun dun. I'm gonna do. I have to do the graphics. I have to do a better job of explaining. I want to do a versus free paint over day next week, but I realized after the last one I wasn't clear with instructions. I'm going to make like a little JPEG with like how it works and whatever to get some cool stuff because I was like I got to redo that one
This is
because
what I want.
yeah, and they that one from the one I did last free paint over, there was two of them that came together perfect, like a sorcerer and then this other guy, and they're fighting, and I was like, man, that one came out really cool. So I gotta try to get another one looking awesome. And then the bummer too, I do a lot of shorts now, like YouTube and whatever, and it totally pisses me off because they're vertical format instead of horizontal. You know what I mean? So then it's like, oh, I need vertical and horizontal minis because you know what I mean. If the formats if I do longer format ones, they work better horizontal. But if you're just doing shorts, you need the vertical ones. So I gotta
Oh,
pick and choose just for the likes. And the other one I gotta do is Mondays when Games Workshop drops their miniature. I got to. take that picture and do a quick paint over and then post it. Like I think I can ride name recognition, you know what I mean? Like search terms and all that kind of stuff. I haven't tried it, but I think it might be worth a try.
Oh, absolutely. So he's just trying to tie in everything that you're doing, working with, and utilizing the stuff that they're dropping each week.
Yeah. I
Oh,
noticed
throw this out
I
because it's pop.
yeah, and I noticed too, so one got a boost like that one, it came out really good. The one I did a Titan, and they gave like a brief history, and it was one of the Titans from Aaron Dombowski's Hell's Reach, and so he had a little lore, and they put it in there, and lore videos do good, so it was one of those where that one got a big boost, and it was like, oh, okay, because it like if I can include a little of the legit lore plus like the paint over, and then plus maybe some like a little bit of painting tips and stuff like that to really start like I started honing in, and some of them were getting more and more popular in views and stuff, so starting to curate the content down to what what starts to really work, and basically just what people like. It's not even what works, it's just like people like certain things. Like, well, you got to figure out what they like. It's like, okay, what do you actually check out?
Mm. But yeah, it's having those sort of like I don't know if you've seen the pictures I've been doing recently of my Titan.
Yes, there were some cool ones in there.
It was I was actually surprised, like the last one I done, which was the Side Titans. I was surprised it didn't get as many likes because I looked at that and I thought, wow, that looks like it's almost professional. um, it was almost as good as this, and I just thought, wow, I've only had like about 20 people like it on Twitter or something.
Dude, that's the internet. I still laugh because like I do really love it about the internet because it's like it's in some ways the most humbling thing ever. Like I do all these paint overs, right? And I still got to make one. My most liked and retweeted or whatever you want to talk about, it was like the stupid one where I took uh the Age of Sigmar guy who kind of had his butt cheek showing, and I put this other miniature that made it look like he was polishing his butt cheek. And that was my most like liked and whatever, and I just kind of crack up because I'm like, I'll pour all this time into doing all these paint overs and everything, and then you do like a 5-minute one as a joke, and of course it's like your most popular post. It's like perfect, keeping it real. We did a little animation on this one. I gotta post it. This one was cool. Man, I lost track of some stuff. There is some serious shit coming out in Necromunda. There's all kinds of vehicles, all kinds of stuff. I'm like, damn, dude, they really went for it, man. Like, I didn't know they were gonna have all that. I'm like, I don't even know how vehicles are gonna play in that. But they got all kinds of like big stuff now. I'm like, huh, they're going for it.
Yeah, no, they've definitely got a good, little corner of the world set now with their
Mm-hmm.
Necromunda stuff, with all the sort of expansions out into the outerness of the hives, and obviously now because they've given some race, one of the races like vehicles, like Orlocks have got access to vehicles.
Yeah.
Goliaths are going around in like mincer bikes, with a big like,
Mm-hmm.
like
Yeah.
the stuff that you would see in Halo.
Yeah. You're right.
Around the choppers.
Yeah.
So it's good that they're doing that sort of thing and expanding it out, but still keeping it fairly small. So it's not going
Yep.
to be like massive
Yeah,
armies
as
of
long as if they keep it in
like
control, because
stuff sharing.
yeah, I'm definitely gonna get some games of that. And then I was doing him as Sanguinius with long hair, but then I got half influenced because I looked and frick, he's got the long, and I'm like, oh God, he probably should have the long hair. But I was already doing this one without the thought of long hair. And so to put long hair on him in this isn't the most frickin' flattering thing. So I don't know what I'm gonna
So
do.
because I always thought this was like initially without the hair, I thought this was
Yeah.
what's it the Red Angel. Angron,
No, this
because he's,
one
you know,
was Angron. I think Angron. No, Magnus the Red. This one's Magnus the Red. I wanted to do him as the whatchamacallit. And
that
I
was
was going to have.
Angron. He evolved to.
I mean, it's not like it's not. He's not specific enough. I could change him to really do one that has a different hair, but like I would have to look around. I know, and it. What bums me out is I have the next one, and the next one is based on a little snippet of a song. So I'm going to do Perturabo is the next one, but I got to get through this
Peter
one
Turbo.
first. Yeah, Peter Turbo. And I don't know what I was gonna do because he's gonna have the wings and like whatever, and I'm like, huh. So I like this pose, I like this head. It's got to do some shit, but I'm like, now that with the hair, I'm kind of like, ah. So that's my. I don't know if he's like stuck in between. I might have to go look at some of the, go through some of the freaking Primarchs again and see. But
What floats your boat?
yeah, which one I think it really fits because I usually try to have an idea and I'm like, okay, it's kind of fitting him, and so I hate to like repurpose it because then it's like if I miss the mark, but I didn't look enough into them all to see which one he might do.
You wouldn't miss the mark. You're too professional.
Missing the mark? You don't want to miss the mark. Up that hill, lad. You still have half a face.
You don't want to miss the mark. Oh no, no mark
No.
missing here.
Can you stand? What was it? Can you stand? Sean Bean giving the lecture like, can you stand in this volley of fire? Hell no. Hell no, I ain't standing in that. You want the answer? Hell no, dude. Can you stand? Like it's a macho thing. Like, no, I ain't stupid. You guys go get up that hill and macho it up and stand in a volley of gunfire. I'll be with Obadiah hiding under the bodies. Yeah, you guys go get them. I'd be like burning a whole bunch of powder and smoke to make myself a smoke screen so no one sees me running.
You don't need that.
It's getting a little smoky, guard. No, I'll be right here. I'm right behind you. Go. Yeah, get them.
Don't get them, sir. Don't worry about me, sir.
Yeah, don't worry about me, sir. I'll be good.
I'll be fine. I'm happy.
I'm right behind you. Right behind you.
Hit the bounder.
Tally ho.
Yeah, so you don't be mucking about with that, sir. That's a court-martial offence, I tell you.
Dude, I didn't. They spent $1 billion on that stupid. I don't want to say stupid because I have no. I don't even know enough about it to know if it's any good. But the Lord of the Rings thing. Oh God, that's such a huge. Oh man, that's a lot of money, dude. Like I don't even think you can. I don't think you can justify it. Like that is just such a risk. I'm like, dude, you're not gonna make $1 billion. Like you're taking a risk. That's just
Lord of the Rings the movies made.
well, yeah, but that's like lightning in a bottle. You know what I mean?
But there's that. But obviously, if it if it does okay,
Yeah,
it's going to be around as long. That's what they're probably looking for. And that's the thing. It's like they're investing in it and actually doing something properly for that longevity to tie
well,
in with
yes.
and piggybacking as such. Because if they do it right, then yeah, they could actually come out of it smelling of roses.
Yeah, that's a big chunk of change.
Oh yeah, absolutely. And it's and hopefully they pull it off because then
Well, yeah, that's what that's what almost that's the part that makes me quote unquote nervous about it is that if they don't pull it off, then someone's gonna be like, "Hey, I got a great idea for a fantasy show." I'm like, no way, we got burned. F your fantasy shows. We're shutting all that shit down, and we're making, you know what I mean? Because they always overreact. They'll be like, "Oh, it was a failure, so nope, shut everything down. Fantasy's dead. You can't do that anymore." Blah blah. It's like, come on, guys. It's just because you spent $1 billion, dude. You like,
Like, you just blew all your money.
yeah. I want to
On
know how
quality
this.
content, not pimps and hookers.
Like there has to be some serious conversations like, hey guys, how much is this thing going to be? And they're like, okay, it's 800 million. Oh, it's like 900. Dude, someone has to be sweating in some office like, oh my god, dude. Like Bezos,
As I
you
said,
better.
it is going to be, telling how well this comes out.
Yeah, I know.
Because if the investment of that money pays off, they will earn it back. Like,
Yeah.
they'll probably earn a lot of it back through like syndication and
Yeah.
sponsorships, toys, and all that jazz. So yeah, it's not too well. If it's shit, then yeah,
Yeah, they just missed the mark. I'm
sucks
like,
to be
oh
you,
boy, dude.
boys. But if it's not and they pull it off, then that's all good. The only way you can
Oh
look at
boy.
it.
Yeah. What is are they still doing season 2 of The Wheel of Time?
Yes, I have been
Okay.
filming it, as far as I know. I haven't heard it being cancelled as such.
I know,
Um,
dude. I get like a lot of this stuff is going to
that
be
wouldn't be out
spooky.
till next year or end of this year, I would have thought. Like our favourite Dune Part 2. Um,
Yeah. Dune.
that's that's not coming out till next year.
Yeah.
Which, when you think about it, we're in September almost. So it's like, well, it's not that far away,
I
really.
know, dude. F these years, dude. These last 3 years, this has been weird, man. I don't know. Just time between the plague and all the stuff I got going on in real life. It's like, dude, they're just like
It's all
whipping
about the
by.
plague.
That's so tedious.
Yes, a little tedious. That's goddamn plague
I
coming out.
couldn't dodge out of my life without doing a plague. I had to be
Yes.
stuck in a plague. At least it wasn't like the Black Plague. I'll be all right.
Well, people survived that. And again, it was like, just avoid everybody.
Yeah, it's real
Just don't
easy.
interact with
Yeah, just don't interact for a few years.
them.
Easy
Because
peasy.
yeah, you don't need that negativity in your life. It's it's long gone. No, you don't need that. You don't need it. The
You got any games or anything coming up or Titan walks or any events you might actually play a game in lately?
um yeah, I'm meeting up Indian Phil. I've got to
Oh.
check with him because he's recently had a bereavement. He's a couple of weeks
Oh.
ago. His father passed away sadly,
Oh, damn.
um,
Sorry, Injured
and
Phil.
it's hit him rather hard, bless him. And
Yeah.
yeah, with school, I've seen him once, only briefly. I had
Mm-hmm.
to pick something up, but I was going to meet up with him at a local gaming venue this weekend because I've got some other friends who are also going to be there. Crystal McDowell
Oh,
and
okay.
will be up there, and a couple of others. And so I just thought, well, it would be good for him to, see him and spend some time with him,
Yeah.
get his hair down.
Sometimes you just gotta get your mind off things with that.
Mm.
And then, dude, that's a good. I think of you and Engine Film like that's a lot of nice painted shit. Like that's a good. I see this people like, hey, they're like, it's just the funniest thing. I'll see like people on Twitter and they're like, I'm playing this. I'm like, oh man, that's gotta be a good looking table, dude. So I feel like table game jealousy. I'm like, I gotta see that set up. Like, there's gonna be some cool stuff there.
Yeah, Phil is a really good painter, and he doesn't get the recognition as he should
Oh
really.
yeah,
But
no, he's really
like with
yeah.
everything, it does take time, and I've shared stuff of his and
Mm-hmm.
all that thing.
Mm-hmm.
But he does get He needs more love, bless him, because he's a really like friendly guy, helpful,
Yeah.
and he's helped several people within the Titans Owners Club with their individual projects with advice
Hmm.
and technical stuff, and even
Well,
like
shout out to Injun Phil for everything he does for the community, dude.
community feel.
Community Phil. It's a lot of. I was thinking about that today. I was just like, man, it like the hobby community overall, like for artists or non-artists or whatever, it's one of the most like supportive I've ever seen. Like, and plus it gives you the ability, like you can try stuff and people are like cool about it, and they like offer feedback, and it's not like dumb feedback like, yeah, learn how to paint, bro. Like, and so I was
You
like,
pick
man,
up a
it really,
brush, you go snip, snip, snip,
yeah.
snip, snip,
And I
snip
think
it.
it's like a lot of people in the same boat. It's like a lot of people who are just trying to get better. So like everyone's kind of on the same page, and I was like, man, it is like a really good like environment to be around as far as that's concerned.
Oh yeah, absolutely. So he's having a good hobby community really does help. Not only like boost your confidence, but also your skill set,
Mm-hmm.
um, and knowledge in general.
Oh,
Like
absolutely.
with my sort of little hobby hangout, because I have obviously like Rob Walters, Mouse
Yep.
Bait there, Indian Phil, Ivy, an awful warm feeling comes on every now and again. Electric Eve, Crystal McDowell as well.
Yep.
Everyone comes in, drops in. They might only hang around for like 5-10 minutes or something like that. But
Yeah.
sometimes, if they turn up at the right time and the conversation veers that way, those conversations are happening in the chat, and I've learned so much, like more from participating and hosting these things.
Yeah.
Uh,
Yeah.
and it's good to see, because like you just see it in the chat, like, oh, I didn't even think of that, or somebody just asks, are talking about something, and someone goes,
Yeah. Yeah.
if you thought about trying it this way, and it's that sort of interaction which really does help a hobbyist sort of develop and learn their craft.
No, it does, and there's enough. That's the other thing. It's like, I mean, and I don't know if it's just because, like, the people who feel comfortable sharing their miniatures are usually at a certain level or whatever, but it's like there's a lot of talented people who paint miniatures. You know what I mean? It's like there's just like a lot, and I keep
There's a
seeing a
few.
bunch online. I'm like, you're not like I. It's funny how many times I'll think someone will be like professional, as in that's how they kind of make their living. And they're like, no, it's just my hobby. You know what I mean? Like, damn, dude, like,
Oh,
like
this is
that's a
just
lot of
something I do. This is
yeah,
something I
yeah.
do.
I'm like,
It's
kudos,
it
dude.
keeps me out of trouble.
Just do a little
Um,
bit on the side.
it's my form of charity.
Yeah, that's what I do.
I donate to the masses with my vast knowledge of painting.
Yeah. And then the other thing that pisses me off is that I watch these things, and the one guy, he's like, yeah, my buddy gave me, he's like this, and I'm gonna paint them for him, and I'll paint his miniatures. And then his buddy like gave him all the Titans that he just painted. I'm like, my friends don't give me squat. Like I picked bad friends. No one's painting me miniatures. None of my like real life friends are like, oh, here's a Titan, bro. And I'm like, man, I really goofed up picking my friends because they ain't painting me no miniatures. So it makes me jealous. I like everyone's like sharing. It's like, oh, look what my friend got. Let's do my friends. Ain't getting me none of this stuff, man. I made bad life choices.
Don't make bad life choices.
Yeah,
It's
dude.
just
Like, who was I
location.
invest in? Like, what kind of people did I invest in as friends? Like,
Yeah, just
yo,
come around
Rob.
here and just
Yeah,
like zap all my brain energy
yeah. King
and
Crimson. King Crimson, come talking to us from Florida, I assume.
what?
Yeah,
No, he's a myth. He's not real, surely.
he's not real. How we doing today, fellas? I'm doing all right, man.
Yeah.
Whatever. I've been dealing with a lot. My dad had a kidney infection, so it's been like a whole ordeal,
Don't worry,
ordeal with that
I'll
stuff.
slap my kidneys and join you.
Yeah, yeah. And dude,